Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to session 4 of our total workout series. Now, for anybody that is new to these sessions, basically our total workout series is kind of like a pared down version of our normal strength workshops. So normally our sessions are quite heavy on the coaching, all about teaching you proper form, biomechanics, etc, etc. These total workout sessions, they're designed to be a fair bit shorter, so 30 to 40 minutes max. And yeah, we just kind of flow through it. It's still a fair bit of coaching, but it's a little bit more to the point, less waffle from me, ideally. So this is session 4. We've got a cracking session for you. In terms of kit, you are going to need two sort of lighter dumbbells, you know, just a couple of kilos, 3 to 4 kilos maybe, and then a medium weight dumbbell, ideally something that you can kind of lift above your head like that. Don't worry if you don't have any of these kit, guys. Obviously there's tons of stuff that you can use around the house, particularly if it's just a couple of kilos. If you go onto the RIAK online page, there is a video on there that talks about a few alternatives around the house that you can use. One thing that you might not be able to find an easy alternative for is a mini band. We're going to be using this quite heavily in this session. So 2 lighter weights, a medium sort of heavy weight, one that you can lift above your head, and then a mini band. So we'll get cracking then, shall we? Okay, so we're going to start with our mini band, and we're going to start with it around our legs, just above the knees, and then we're going to head down to the mat. Just check one thing is running properly. Yeah, head down to the mat, and I'm going to do what's called a donkey kick. Okay, so down onto all fours, and then very simple, what you're going to do is just kind of kick your heel back. So with a donkey kick, always suggest, thinking about trying to kick yourself in the back of the head with your heel. In reality, your foot will go straight up, because what we don't want really is kind of your foot going backwards like that. It's straight up, trying to kick yourself in the back of the head. Just do 10 of these on each side. So 1, 2, and this is to really get your glutes going. So towards the end of the set, 3, 4, you should feel this in the top of your hamstring into your glute. 6, 7, keep going. 8, 9, and 10, and then I'm going to go on to the other side. So another 10 on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just try and keep your upper body steady. 5, 6. Remember, kicking yourself in the back of the head. 7, or trying to at least. Impressive if you can do it. 8, 9, and then 10. And then what we're going to do is going to stay in this position, but instead of going up and back, you're going straight out to the side. Okay, so from this position, my right knee is just going that way. Okay, so it's going out, pausing there, and then coming back in. So I'll show you front on. Pretty straightforward, I think. But just straight out to the side. Now the challenge with this one is just keeping your body steady. So keeping your upper body nice and still. So you have to engage that core. But 10 on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, and what we're doing here is getting abductors going. 3, hip stabilizer muscles. 4, around the outside of your hip. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then on to the other side. So knees just going straight out to the side for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and back up onto your feet, keeping the band around your legs. What you're going to do, you're just going to take your feet just ever so slightly wider than hip width apart. We're just going to do some very straightforward banded squats. And so, as with any squat, making sure your weight is in your heels throughout. the chest remains upright. So one way to do that is just clasp your hands in front of your chest. Just check that your feet are pointing forwards. It's okay if they're ever so slightly off to the side, but what you don't want is duck feet. Okay, so feet forwards, and then just do 10 squats with the band, and just making sure that your knees track in line with your toes as you squat down. Okay, don't allow that band to pull your knees in. Here we go. 1, driving through your heels. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, keep that chest upright. 8, 9, and last one. 10. Okay, good. Right, you can take the band off. Now we will be using it later in the session, so don't too far away. Keep it within arm's reach. But now we're just going to loosen up a little bit. The legs, so we're just going to take the legs nice and wide. This time toes pointing out diagonally. And what you're going to do is just going to bend the knees a little bit, sort of semi-squat down, tip over at the hips, just enough so you can get your hands on the floor, okay? So bend your knees as much as you need to do that. And then what you're going to do, just going to follow your hands across the floor, keeping both feet on the ground. And you're just going to kind of lunge into it. And what this is going to do is just open up the insides of your legs, open up your adductors, your groin area basically, so you should feel it stretching. What we don't want to do is kind of sit on the stretch. It's about mobility. We're just kind of opening up the joint, just taking it through a slightly wider range with each one. Okay, so that's a couple more. It's just a really good loosener exercise. I like doing this one before I do any kind of S&C work and for any kind of strength work. Okay, and then I'm just going to drop down onto the floor, another little loosener, this time for the hamstrings. So again, taking the legs out nice and wide, arms up either side of your ears. You're just going to then twist towards one foot, and then this is important, you're hinging at the hip, you're not sort of crushing within yourself. Okay, so the whole chest goes down towards your thigh, arms stay up close to your ears, you swoop across the top of your feet, and you come back up the other side. We go back down that side, across the other way. Okay, so just going to do 5 of these in total. So doing both ways is 1. So that's 1. And 2. Keep going. 3. Just a couple more. Keeping those arms by your ears, remember. Don't cheat and allow them to come down like that. Keep them by your ears. So one more. You should feel this with each one getting a little bit easier, hopefully. Just putting a bit of pressure on the old hamstrings. There you go. Really good listen to that one. Okay, and then just finishing off the kind of loosening stuff. We're just gonna do kind of one very quick sort of chest warming up exercise. Chest warm up is how it should be said. So you just take your light pair of dumbbells, and what you're going to do, stay on your knees. You're just going to take dumbbells in front of your groin. You're just going to turn them out into like a V shape. And what you're going to do is just think about bringing your palms up level with the shoulders, like that. Okay. So you're just going to do 10 of those. Just bring your palms up in front of your shoulders, like so. Just going to warm up your shoulders and your chest muscles. Hopefully feeling it kind of into the base of your pectoral muscles. 5. It's another 5. This is a good exercise on its own. Do this both lying down on your back, standing up, or on your knees like this. So a couple more. Okay, good. Then weights down. And what you're going to do is just find a space on the wall. You can put your hands on the wall. I can see all the finger marks here where I've done this so many times. And then you're just going to sit back on your heels. Okay, just shimmy back a little bit so you can drop your head between your shoulders, or between your elbows like so. Then you're just going to come up and push your hips into the wall, kind of arch back, bring your head back. You'll feel like a little bit of a pinching in your lower back. It's really hard to talk whilst doing that. And then back into head between your elbows. Just kind of pushing your chest in towards the ground. You should feel it kind of stretching out back to your shoulders a little bit. And then when you're pushing your hips forwards, kind of hollowing out your spine, hyperextending a little bit. Always good to get a bit of spinal mobility going. Ideally, our warm-ups would be much longer. Rest of the time. So let's do one more. Into the wall. Oh, that was nice. Got a little bit of a check in my back there, which is either a good or a bad thing, I'm not sure. Anyway, so normal loosening off process. So leg swings forward and back, just kicking right up in front of you, and then in behind, just kicking a little bit higher with your foot with each one. Again, just finishing off kind of like that, loosening off the hamstrings, which is pretty important for this session because we're doing another quite explosive first exercise. So I want to make sure we're nice and loose for that. So if you remember in the last session we were doing the scissor jumps, we're doing another kind of explosive type exercise to start off the session. So 10 on each side, kicking backwards and forwards. And if you've done any sessions with us before, you know what is coming next. I'm going to face the camera, but face the wall so you can get a bit of balance. What you're going to do is just going to kick across yourself. Oh. Stand 10 one side, 10 the other, and take a bit of time. Concentrate when you're doing this, kicking a little bit farther out to the side because we're just kind of loosening off around the outside of your hip. Okay, and down the inside of your leg again. So worth taking the time over. Once you've done that, loosening off the shoulders again. So keeping the arms nice and straight, drawing them in close to your ear. And again, so what we're really looking to do with all these movements is kind of introduce warmth to the muscles, but also introduce what's called synovial fluid into your joints. It's kind of like a lubricant, so that the joints move freely. And so that's always a big aspect of any kind of warm up, both the obvious kind of warming the muscles up so that they have viability, but then also kind of preparing the joints as well. And as you get older, you need more time to produce that synovial fluid. So as you get older, that's why it's necessary to take a little bit longer over your warm-ups. So if you are watching this back on demand, then do feel free to take a bit more time getting that all done. But we're going to go straight into kind of a pretty explosive exercise. So we're going to do some cleans and press. So this is actually quite a complex exercise, so really worth listening closely. I'll turn side on so it's a little bit easier, but you're going to take your medium kind of weight, put it between your feet. Your feet are about just slightly wider than the hip width apart. And then what you're going to do, there's three kind of movements within this. Okay, so you're squatting down, squatting right down. Okay, this shouldn't turn into a deadlift. This is a squat, so drop that bum, keep the chest up. And then what you're going to do, I'll do this in parts so you can see how it breaks down, is you're going to drive through your heels whilst keeping your arms straight. So you're pulling the weight up and you're using momentum until you get to this point. Okay, which is when your arms start to get involved. You're bringing the weight up to your shoulder and you sink down a little bit, and then you're pressing above your head like so. And then it's straight back to the start where you're squatting down again. I'll just do that in kind of real time so you can see how it flows. Okay, so you're driving through the legs, weight comes up to your shoulder, and then press. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'll do it facing one last time. So squatting right down, you explode up, weight comes to your shoulder, and you press. Okay, so we do 10 of these on each side with a very, very short break in between. So let's get ready to go. weight in between your feet, squatting right down, and here we go. Power up, press above, all the way back down to the bottom. So right down into the squat, power up, and 2, 3, power up, 4, always back down into that squat, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Okay, good. Shake the hands out, give the legs a quick shake, and then we go straight onto the other side. Here we go, squatting right down, power up, and press. 1, 2, 3. So let's get a blow on now. 4, 5, 6, 7, last 3, 8, 9, final one. Let's really explode up. Okay, driving up, squat and push. There you go. Whew. Okay, so move the weight to the side, and then going back down onto the mat into what's called the 90-90 position. Okay, so what that means is my left leg is forwards with a 90-degree bend in it. My right knee comes up to my left heel. Again, 90-degree bend. Okay, my left knee is forwards, so my left hand comes around behind my back. My right hand goes on top of that left leg. Okay, so just take a second to work this all out. There's a lot going on. So left knee is forwards 90 degrees, right knee comes up to the left heel, left hand comes in behind me, right hand goes on top of the left knee, and then from here, what we're trying to do is raise this whole lower leg on the right side off the floor as one solid block. So like that. It's not a huge movement. Okay, just like that. And at the same time, we're trying to avoid leaning. We're trying to avoid gaining leverage that way. Okay, so we're just gonna do 6 on these on each side. Basically what we're doing is getting some very deep-seated hip stabilizer muscles going, and it's challenging. So here we go. So raising up as one solid block, just hovering there, down. 2, try and minimize the amount of lean. 3, it's a hard one. Takes a lot of kind of, the hard part is the kind of like the mind muscle connection, rather than it being just really hard in terms of weight. It's kind of just getting the actual movement going. One more. So I actually reckon that'll be a lot easier second time round. Now you've kind of got your brain working towards where it needs to go. When we do the second round, hopefully that'll be a little bit easier. Anyway, so onto the other side. So right knee is forwards, 90-degree bend. Left knee is up to the right heel. Right hand comes in behind. Left hand on top of the right knee. Raising it up as a one solid block. Trying not to lean if you can. You might find this is slightly easier on one side than the other. So that's 3, 4, 5, and number 6. There we go. Okay, good stuff. So now we're just going to go on to a variety of press ups. So you do this either on your knees or you can do the full press up. I'll show you both versions. So on your knees to start off with, what you're going to do is basically a press up to the side. So the way so I was just thinking about the word that I wanted to use now, and they're not appropriate. So what you're doing really is first getting into a good press up setup. So that means shifting your weight forward so that your shoulders are over your wrists and looking forwards about 2 or 3 feet ahead of you. Okay, then what you're going to do is think about kind of right chest to right hand. Okay, so as you're coming down, you're going right over to the side. Okay, still maintaining that good press up technique, so still weight is shifted forwards. So it's your chest going to your hands, not your face. Okay, so that's the version on your knees. Exactly the same in the full press up position. So forwards on your toes, and then as you're going down, you draw your chest to the side and try to avoid rotating. Okay, whichever version you want to do, we're going to do 10. Okay, so 5 to each side. Let's get ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so down to the right, down to the left, drawing your chest to the right hand, 3, down to the left hand, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good stuff. Right, now I'm gonna grab our lightweight. So you're probably gonna need a couple of kilos, 2 to 5 kilos, depending on how strong you are or how experienced you are. So this is kind of several exercises in one, and I'll just run you through them. Okay, I'll do it without the weights, just so I don't get too tired. First one, all these exercises you're doing kind of doubled over. So very soft bend in the knees, you're hinged at the hips, so your chest is parallel to the ground. Look, say 2 or 3 feet ahead of you. For the first one, your hands go in front of you, and imagine I'm holding the weights. They then go out into a V shape, and you're raising them up so that they go just slightly wide of your shoulders. Okay, it's called a Y raise or a V raise, whatever you want to call. So that's the first one. Second one is you're keeping your arms straight again, with just a very soft bend in your elbow, and going straight out to the side. So it's a T raise. Okay, next one, you're going to bend your elbows like this, so your hands are kind of sort of level with your knees, and then you're just retracting your shoulder blades like this. Okay, then the final one is into that kind of elbows high in line with your shoulder, and what you're doing here is raising your hands like so, pivoting around your elbow. I'll show you the weights now. So first one is the Y raise, like that. Then it's the T raise. Okay, then it's the W raise. So like that. So you're not drawing your hands up like that. It's all retracting the shoulder blades. And then the final one, like so. Okay, so we're going to do 5 of each. Alright, so getting set up, soft bend, tipping over at the waist, looking 3 or 4 feet ahead of you, weights in your hands, down in front of you, turn them into a V, and raise them up like so. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, get that chest parallel to the floor, 5, then hands go out to the side, the T raise for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then elbows bent, palms facing inwards, and we'll just retract the shoulder blades. 2, 3, 4, 5, knuckles facing forwards now, and then we just raise the hands up to parallel to the floor. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good stuff. Okay. Right then, so we've just got the core focus exercise, and this is where you're going to need a mini band back. So there's 2 ways to do this exercise basically, and it depends on where you put the mini band. Okay, it's easier if you put it above your knees, obviously harder if you put it down by your ankles. So I'll show you what we're up to. Okay, so we're going into the plank position, so normal plank setup. So elbows over shoulders, okay, forward on your toes, keep the bum down, and then what you're going to do from here, once you've gotten set up, what you're going to do is keeping your leg straight and kick backwards, like so, and you'll immediately feel this right in the meat of your glute. Okay, it's kind of like the donkey kick we were doing right at the beginning. That's kind of why we did it. Okay, so you got the two versions. You're down by your knees, or if you want to make it harder, band around your ankles. Okay, either way, let's get set up. I'm going to do this 45 seconds. So into the planks, set up, ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So get set up in the plank first. So shoulders over elbows, and then once you're set, start to kick. If the band is around your ankles, you can't kick very far. Just try and resist that band and do your best. So just kicking straight up. That's 20 seconds down already. Keep that bum down. Try not to stick the bum in the air. Okay, 15 seconds. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff, well done. Okay, you can take the band off now without falling over. Just managed to save that. Okay, so a quick swig of water, and then we go into the second round. This time I'm going to flow through it much more quickly. You may or may not be pleased to hear. Okay, get yourself ready. Get ready to go through it. All one last time. So that means grabbing your weight. Okay, I'm going to do this side on this time so you can see what's going on a little bit easier. You're taking your feet just slightly wider than shoulder width. Try and keep looking forwards throughout. Otherwise, we're squatting right down, grab and hold the weight, getting ready to drive through our heels. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Driving up, way up to the shoulder, and press for 1, 2. Really explosive. 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more. 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Okay, weight down. Shake your hands out. Get the blood back. Let's get ready to go on the other side. Here we go. Squatting right down. Grab hold of the weight. Drop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 3 then. 8, 9. Last one. And 10. Alright then. So then we're back onto the mat again. The 90-90 raises. So remember to set up left knee forwards, 90-degree bend. Right knee comes up to the heel. Left hand comes in behind. Right hand on top. Raising this right side as one side block. Here we go. 1, 2. A little bit easier this time. 3. Just getting it going at least. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, just try and make it as smooth as you possibly can. Onto the right side, so right hand comes in knee, left hand on top of the right knee. Here we go. 2, 3. Nice and smooth, nice and controlled. 4, 5, 6. We're done. Okay, then we've got the press up. So either on your knees or full press up, whichever you feel comfortable with. Just try and push yourself, whichever version you're doing. So hands down, shoulders over your wrists. So shift your weight forwards, whether it's on your knees or on your toes. Look forwards about 2 or 3 feet ahead of you. and then going to the right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, right down to the bottom, 10. Well done. Okay, then we're back off onto our feet, grabbing our lightish weights, starting off with that V raise or Y raise. So feet widen hip width, soft bend, double over, look forwards about 2 or 3 feet, take the weights down in front of you, turn them out into a V, and we raise up for 5 to start off with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then reset, make sure your chest is parallel to the ground, and now we go directly out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we bend the elbows, and it's just shoulder blade retraction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then bend the elbows to 90, knuckles facing forwards, and we raise the hands parallel to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, nice one. We've just got the core to go, and then we are done. So grabbing your mini band again, either above your knees or your ankles, down into the plank position. Okay, getting ready to go. Another 45 seconds. We're first getting set in that plank position. So shoulders over elbows, forward on the toes. Let's get set. Here we go. Okay, so timer's on. Once you're settled, keeping that bum down, we start to kick back. And you'll find that you're having to contract your quad on the opposite side to kind of keep you steady. So try and really make sure that you're working to kind of keep your hips level rather than kind of twisting the torso. But you're halfway already. There you go. 15 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There you go. That's session 4 done. Okay. So of course, if you want a bit of a longer workout, you can just do another round of all of that. But hopefully, that's a nice little workout. I certainly got a little blow on, but that's session 4 done. And we look forward to seeing you next time, guys. Thanks very much. Have a good evening.